Well, I have arrived to Utah's finest park, Cannibal, waiting for me. 5 years since I've been here. So welcome to our Lagoon vlog. That was insane. Sophie, what do you think?
That's been a crazier ride.
Yeah, me too. All right, so Sophie just rode Colossus for the first time.
I want to go a million times.
So last time I was here, Tom Brady was still a Patriot. The Astros, people still thought they were on the level. Pre-trash can. My YouTube channel had 10,000 subscribers. Still had my eye views back then. And my voiceovers were even worse than they are now. So let's go inside and see what's been going on for the last 5 years. Okay, so I got my ticket, $97.95, over $105 with tax. So that's pretty insane. I think the first time I came here, 2017, it was like 65 bucks from Costco. Not a lot of discounts out there. So Lagoon, you know, 100 bucks. I mean, I used to get into Six Flags for the whole season, every park for like 3/4 that price. So see if you can make it worth it. I never really understood the ticket system here. I guess you can pay tickets or get an all-day stamp. So anyway, we got the stamp. I think this is one of those ones where if you wash your hands too much, it'll fall off. So the thing about Lagoon, just don't wash your hands, you're good. Okay, so 15 minutes before the park opens, this is the line for Primordial. I don't even know where it begins, but it ends right here, and that's where we're gonna go. That's where we're going, because it might be ugly today. It is now 10 o'clock, and that line stretches as far as the eye can see. So hopefully everyone disperses after this.
This mission requires immense courage. Assist you in freeing Dragonlord Astradir from the clutches of the...
I'm not a cat.
20 minutes later.
All right, we've been standing in the same spot for about 20 minutes now, so I think the ride broke. So after a 30-minute delay, I might take advantage of this policy right here. All right, so if you're in line for Primordial and you have to pee, there's a porta potty behind that fence. You can ask the attendant to use it. I just did, because this is, it's still got a ways to go. So Primordial, I'm pretty sure I had that on my 2020, like new for 2020 list.
Today I'll be looking into the best coasters we know are opening in 2020. Number 11, Primordial at Lagoon in Farmington, Utah.
That video was so long ago.
It's very unlikely that it's going to be the best year for coasters of all time, and we're all along for the ride.
So finally got on Primordial. That took over an hour. Even though we got here at rope drop, still took over an hour. If you see the line behind us, that is enormous. 8 people per car, so not very good capacity. And so yeah, it was, you know, for a park that has a lot of janky coasters, I'm not saying they're bad, just some of them are janky. This type of ride justifies the $100 entry. That's very impressive. Not exactly the most thrilling ride, but it's got all kinds of like special effects. It's got some, you know, surprises in there. I would say, yeah, it's a really interesting ride. Not something I want to re-ride today, especially not with that line. But yeah, especially for families, that is something cool. Current status of Primordial. Wow. I don't even want to know how long that line's going to be. Yikes. They seem very strict about loose articles, like in the line, all the signage. But they didn't really seem to care if you had your hat or anything on the ride. Or even some people even had like fanny packs or small bags that they brought with them. So yeah, don't be scared of the signs. It's not that strict. And now the main reason why we do come to Lagoon, Cannibal. And not to freak out, if you ever see lines spill out to the midway, they don't really have queue lines like switchbacks in most of the rides. So this looks bad, but it's probably only about 20 minutes. Alright, so Cannibal was Cannibal. I mean, may have gotten a little bit more rattly over the years, but nothing to complain about. But I just gotta say, man, those operations for Cannibal are awesome. That line, I thought it was gonna be like 20 minutes. It was like 10. You guys are rocking it, man. Jetstar 2, the only ride where you need a friend. No single riders.
We got this guy over here pounding pieces of track back in place. That's a good sign. I thought he was looking for something, but he has got a hammer, and he was hammering the track. So that's fun. This is what happens when you don't have real footers on your ride and it's portable. I guess you have to hit the wood pieces and get them centered again. So, like I said, a little bit janky.
Okay, so it's less about single riders as it is even numbers. So you can fit 3, but you can't fit 3 adults. You can fit 2 adults and a kid. And you know, for a ride that they had to kind of hammer back together while I was waiting for it, pretty good. Very intense, very janky, very uncomfortable. That's definitely gonna be a one and done.
103 years old, still going strong.
Short line too.
Check this out. 100 years old. It's got all the history from John A. Miller all the way through the fire up to today. Very cool lagoon. History.
While riding the roller coaster, please keep your arms and legs inside the train at all times. Do not stand up or extend your arms above your head. Thank you.
What can I say? 103 years, roller coaster still top ride in this park. Good airtime, kind of painfully sharp airtime in the back. They're just maintaining that thing awesome.
All right. What's this mouse looking for? They changed my favorite sign. Like, what is that? Come on. It used to be different. Still kind of weird, but it used to be different.
So we rode the Wild Mouse. Finally figured out what this guy's looking for here. Just trying to see if you're too big to ride, because 3 adults in that car was making some weird noises around those turns. Yeah. So small cars, a little bit cramped, still pretty intense. I liked it better last time. I don't know what happened this time. It was a little more jerky and slow. That's a thing.
Yes.
Other than Primordial, the lines have been really nice today, actually. Spider usually is pretty bad. They were whipping the trains out. We got a weight imbalance, 3 people in a car. That's the way to ride it. That was some insane spinning. Lives up to its reputation. So Colossus, we still got Wicked. Wicked's line looks pretty bad. Yeah, I'm gonna find a bathroom before I have to use another porta potty. So when you're looking for a bathroom, you need a sign. That is a sign. Don't mistake it for a challenge. It's just a sign. That's what the bathroom is, but don't use it.
That's cool. They have the flags for all the coasters going up the lift hill here.
For your own safety, do not extend your arms above your head. Hold on tight and enjoy your ride.
So I was going to complain that this is one train ops and there's two trains like on the transfer track. But those dispatches are so insanely fast, it doesn't even matter. 30, 40 seconds each time, just whip those trains out, kick you off before the train even stops. I cannot believe that's like the fastest ops I've ever seen outside of a Disney park. Got the front row. That was interesting. Not as much whip, but the visuals and the intensity is all there. So Colossus, I'd say a pretty solid Schwarzkopf. Not my favorite, but definitely a good one. Well, that's my number 3 launch of all time for a reason. That thing is ridiculous. We got second row. Doesn't really matter where you're sitting that ride, which is kind of nice. And the first half is super elite. Zero did an amazing job. And then they kind of forgot to do the second half, which is kind of disappointing. Kind of like Skyrocket at Kennywood. But Wicked is still, I want to say second best in the park, but you know what? I'm going to do a whole new ranking for this coming out next week. So stay tuned for that, because I got some new ideas.
Bambora's line, I thought was going to be huge, but it is actually not, which is nice. You got 2 trains on a family coaster. That is awesome.
I've never seen Bambora with less than a 30-minute wait, but it was a walk-on today, which is kind of awesome. I just think that when you have 2 trains on a kids coaster, it's always a good thing. But even then, like Movie World in Australia, that had 2 trains and it was not a walk-on. So I don't know. Lagoon operations, generally I think are pretty good. I think, especially compared to the Silverwood, they're awful. But Lagoon's operations are just crushing it today.
Yep. So Bat never disappoints in terms of the line. So thank you, Bat, for keeping me sane. But this is probably the worst ride in the park, and we're gonna wait for it.
So I was just thinking that just about every coaster in this park is enjoyable, and then I remember that they have Bat. I banged my head coming out of the station, which is that's the first, just to turn out of the station, headbang already. So yeah, maybe don't ride that. Longest line in the park, and aside from Primordial, but longest line in the park, and it's not good. So maybe just skip that one. Well, I have ridden every coaster in this park. Didn't take very long, which is great. But I'm not riding Puff. Already have the credit, and I don't have Sophie or Amy with me, and I'm not going to put myself through the embarrassment. I love how on this side of the park, it's like state-of-the-art, new stuff that you'll see at like the best parks ever. And then on the other side of the park, everything's like held together by a thread. It's just like the dichotomy of modern and jank. Now, welcome to the janky side of the park, which, even though Wicked is a permanent installation, some of those last turns are on the janky side. And you got Colossus, and we won't mention Jetstar, which of course, you know, every once in a while I gotta hammer the footers back in. So yeah, the 2 sides of Lagoon right here. All right, taking it down a notch. Let's do some sky riding.
Okay, so the Rocco plane, that is something I actually tried in 2017. I got it to flip once, and I smashed my head against the top. So, that's a one and done, never again. And coming in for the smooth landing.
Okay, so Wicked was awesome as usual. Round 2. We're gonna get one more in Cannibal, so we're gonna take the Sky Ride back over, but that line for the Sky Ride is absolutely insane. So we're just gonna walk it.
And this is where we would have ended up had we waited for the Sky Ride. Definitely a good idea to walk it. But I want to get some shots from up there.
We got time for one more ride. I think it's only right to make the last ride on Cannibal. That was a good last ride. I got stuck in row 2, which kind of was, that's the worst row. But I had an inch of room, and an inch of room on Cannibal feels like 300 feet. So, yeah, that first drop was nuts. So, we're gonna say goodbye to the rides of Lagoon. We are going to probably look at some souvenirs and head out.
At 5 p.m. update. The line for Primordial is significantly shorter than it was before, but I still would never, ever want to wait in that. Because that is, it's like at least an hour, maybe more.
All right, so that is going to be it from Lagoon. I got some Primordial swag for my 652nd credit. All in all, just an awesome day. Beautiful weather, not too hot, perfectly sunny. I got to ride every single coaster except for Puff, which was planned. I got 2 rides on Cannibal, got 2 rides on Wicked. I got to use the porta potty outside of Primordial, which is, that's a rare credit right there. So that is just a little prelude. If you guys were looking for the girls, I will have them on a big trip starting in July. So we are going to go to the East Coast. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. This was just a me trip with my brother, and this was, it was just a little fun little prelude because the girls are in California, and I thought it'd be something fun to do. Check out Lagoon for the first time in 5 years and get on Primordial for the first time. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I'll see you next time. Okay, a little postscript to the vlog. Before we leave Utah, we hit up some mountain coasters. So first we went to Snowbird, and that was definitely the worst mountain coaster I've ever ridden. It was only about 2,000 feet long. It wasn't very tall, it just wasn't much. So then we came to Park City, and then we did their mountain coaster, and that thing's awesome. Like, one of the better mountain coasters I've ever seen. And we also did the slide, which is freaky because unlike the mountain coaster, you have to break yourself or else you might fall off. So for all you daredevils, the Alpine slide is up your alley. But yeah, if you're too crazy, you might end up on the side of the mountain. So that is it. Got 3 new credits on this trip, and we are headed back to Oklahoma, gonna get ready for the big trip in July. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time.